Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. It is Christmas Eve. And wow, can you believe that we're at the end of December already and that we are heading into 2026? Doesn't it just make you like, it's just like, since COVID especially, right? It's, 6 years. We're going into 6 years since COVID now. And that time, I don't know about you, but this 6 years, boom, like went by so fast. So much has happened in my life in that 6 years. I'm like, do you ever just sit there and think sometimes like, geez, where would my life be, if COVID hadn't happened? I find myself thinking that at the beginning of the year ever since COVID started. Like I was just on a different trajectory, I think, back then. And all the things that have happened, like I've had 2 kids graduate high school since COVID. I've got one living in another state now. My kids are, young adults. They're not like in school, like so much has happened over the last 6 years. And I think finally, I feel, because let's face it, like COVID was a kind of a dark cloud. I mean, obviously COVID was a dark cloud, but I mean, even, the last few years, I feel like a lot of us have just been recovering from COVID, and also just like trying to get our bearings about us, because, well, so many of you woke up because of COVID, right? Or woke up, I have a lot of conversations with you guys, and what I learn about you is that so many of you woke up because of the 2020 election. That was a huge awakening point for many people. And so, yeah, it's just like, it's been a lot of change, and a lot of just like, awakening. They call it the Great Awakening for a reason, right? They call it this is the Great Awakening. And I don't know, the start now, ending this year out, I'll be the first to admit 2025 was a very tough year. And so going into 2026, though, I just feel a different energy. I feel invigorated. I feel more positive. I feel like, I don't know. I'm more at peace, I guess, with where we're at. Even though it's still crazy, I think it's probably you. Talking to you all the time, to this audience, and connecting with you, and, understanding that so many people do understand what's going on. I think that really helps. It inspires me, and it gets me excited for the future. It's like, oh, we got something going on here. People are definitely, awakening through this time. So that part of it, 2026 coming up fast, is exciting. I got my sparkly shirt on today because it is Christmas. So I had to come prepared Christmassy for you today. Anyway, I'm excited to spend time with the family, and nothing too crazy going on here at our household or anything, but just really looking forward to spending some quality time together and focusing on what really matters in our lives. So I hope you get the chance to do the same. All right, well, let's get into some of the things going on, because I was shocked, but I wasn't shocked. I was shocked, but I wasn't shocked, right? Because how do we even get shocked anymore, right? Do we? I saw this coming. Because there were some murmurings about it in the news, but it was more so like, when people go into crisis, they really turn to God, right? And I think this was very apparent with this next story about Russell Brand. Check out this headline I saw late last night. Russell Brand charged with rape and sexual assault after 2 more women come forward. So police in London said the charges against the actor and podcaster relate to 2 further women and are in addition to charges filed in April. So, this one is from 2000. One of the accusers is from an incident in 2001. It's 25 years ago. 25 years ago. Okay. And then another one in 2004, 22 years ago. 22 years ago. So let's go to what Russell Brand had to say about it. We'll listen to this clip. And then I want to get into the topic about culture shaping today, which is these United States of blackmail and beyond. Take a listen to this.
Britain is scrapping trial by jury. Luckily, I don't know anyone who's got a trial by jury. Hello there, you awakening wonders. Thanks for joining me for Stay Free with Russell Brand. Today we're talking about justice in the UK. Chance would be a fine thing. Let's get into it.
It's cases like this the government wants to see sped up. To do so, a package of reforms, including a major shift away from jury trials to try and clear a backlog of nearly 80,000 cases.
Who caused the backlog. They caused the backlog by being unreliable, by not being able to run a country, by not being able to run a judicial system, by not being able to hand the administration, by arresting people for increasingly ridiculous crimes, creating, it seems, criminals as a way of controlling populations. And then like, oh, well, we've got a bit of a backlog. Well, if you've got a backlog, stop arresting people for stuff they've not done. Stop creating pretend mad, crazy crimes in order to legitimise banging people up in jail because you can't control them. And then to compound the problem by saying, because of the old backlog, we ain't got time for jury trials. Because of the old backlog, it'll be quicker if we just shot people at the moment of birth. What are they doing in the...
So at least he has a good spirit about what is going on. But of course, we all know what Russell Brand was up to during COVID, right? And we all understand what's going on in the UK when it comes to censorship and shutting people up. And Russell was, he was just on TPUSA's stage this past weekend. I played you a couple of clips from that earlier this week, and where he declared, I did not take the vaccine. I do not like authority. I am connected to God. I have a higher purpose. He's talking a lot of, giving a lot of praise to God and explaining that, throughout COVID, he was searching for truth. And so are we really surprised here? Are we really surprised? Yet another person is, they go to the deepest channels to dig up dirt on people when they need to shut people up. And I don't know. That's the thing about these claims, these accusations. We don't know. We don't know. But isn't it convenient that 25 years later, 22 years later, we can dig up some dirt on somebody who just happens to be one of the voices in a time where it's very difficult to stray away from official narratives. And there are only a few very popular voices straying away from the narrative. And isn't it just interesting that he's now being attacked like this? Is it interesting? Well, I don't know. I'm just so sick of this stuff. It's so obvious. It is so obvious. A few years back, I think did I interview Nick Bryant twice? I can't remember if I just interviewed him once or twice, but Nick Bryant, he shed a lot of light on this, and Whitney Webb does as well with her book, The United States of Blackmail, where you got to understand how, I always talk about how there's, the weaponization of politics, where it's really like a game that these elitists are playing, right? Like they use politicians to move the ball down the field for their agenda, and it's pay to play. And so this disgusting network, it's so gross when you start to figure out how the world works, right? This disgusting network of, deviants and billionaires and elitists, globalists, whatever you want to call them, that work within this mechanism of corporate greed and government control. The way they control people, as we talked about yesterday, about the paid influencer type of thing. So they can control narratives and control what people are seeing. This is how they control other key players as well, is through blackmail. And man, it's ruthless, right? It's ruthless. But the law has been weaponized for a long, this is what they do. Like, listen, look at what's happening with Candace Owens, right? She's being drugged through court. She's been sued. Like, they want to sue her into oblivion so she can never come back. That's one of the ways they do it, you know? And one might speculate that there are other ways they shut people up for good as well. It's a very dangerous, disgusting game. And they want you watching it, and they want you on their side. So they do whatever they have to do to make that happen. Stay tuned, everybody. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Buy one, get one free collagen still available. My favorite collagen. Go to naturallyinspiredstore.com today and get yourself started with buy one, get one free deals. The collagen is by far a fantastic deal, but there's also 30 more products on there that you can take advantage of right now with that buy one, get one free deal. Oh, the blackmail of America. It's not just America, though. Candace has been talking about this too, which I find very interesting. As she's unraveling this investigation, which, holy cow, that's going crazy right now too, right? I haven't even had time really to dive into that because we have so much stuff going on in health. And I want to make sure I'm bringing you all of that stuff as well. But it's important that we understand how culture is controlled. And we got a war going on, within the right. And that's splintered, right? And Candace is coming forth with all kinds of receipts. And gosh, I don't know what's right. I'm just like waiting. Just keep, wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. That's incredible. I'm just kind of watching it unfold. So we'll see where that goes. But even, there's a massive effort right now to control her, right? People don't like what she's saying. And I don't know. It's like, let it unfold. If it's a lie, if it's false, the whole thing's going to come apart. And if it's true, well, then there's a lot of people who are going to get new understanding about how the world actually works. This, one of the things that she has talked about here is this we have Egyptian planes. Oh, we have, French people involved in this. Oh, and possibly maybe we have Israelis involved too. We don't know. There's all these different, what's going on here? And as soon as she talked about that, I was like, well, yeah, because listen, I think it was Obama, right? And it was Obama that removed the restrictions where, America wasn't able to, used to be, the American government was not able to propagandize to the American people. And so the way around that, before he changed that legislation, the way around that was they used to just engage the UK, or they would engage another country to publicize different stories, and it would leak its way into the American psyche. That's how they used to kind of get around that law, is they would just have other people, other countries do it. These stories would leak out. And so when she said that, I was like, well, yeah, because if you got other countries doing your dirty work for you, then there's nothing, there's no legal ramifications for you, right? And of course, you look the other way when other countries are doing the dirty work of your higher agencies. And then, of course, everything just gets all covered up because it's national security. Oh, come on. We can't tell you. We can't tell you anything. Oh, it's a matter of national security. Like sometimes I'm just like, man, I'm so glad I am not part of that game, Because what a despicable, maniacal, disgusting, like the word swamp doesn't even come close to describing how that works. So here we got Russell Brand speaking out during COVID, and now they're coming for him. They're going to cancel him, right? So that's interesting. He's not alone, though, right? I mean, we've seen this over and over and over again, of course. Not just Russell Brand. I mentioned the other day, I think it was yesterday. All my days are kind of, moving, blurring together here. But one of the things that I brought up the other day was actor Kevin Spacey. What happened, right? Kevin Spacey, fantastic actor. I mean, he was in the throes of one of the great series on Netflix. And it was like House of Cards. Everybody was watching that. He was like really just knocking out of the park, of course. He's a great actor, Usual Suspects or whatever. Dun, dun, dun. What happens? The average person's like, what? Like, what? Kevin Spacey did what? Kevin Spacey did what? Yeah, so like way back sometime, kind of like Russell Brand, I think it was even longer than 25 years ago, Kevin Spacey had, they dug up some accusers around Kevin Spacey that, he's gay, and he had some relations, many, many decades ago, I think like 30 years ago or something, with some young boy. And he openly admitted, I don't remember, right? And that started in 2017. Okay. So that's interesting. It's interesting it started around that time because actually that was the time when all the Epstein stuff kind of started to come apart there for Epstein. And so it made me think, Kevin Spacey's in a world of hurt these days. Here's a clip from him, actually. Here's a clip. Well, first, let me show you this. This here is Kevin Spacey, right? With Ghislaine Maxwell, Bill Clinton. So he's very tight in these circles. Now, we don't know, anybody associated with Epstein doesn't mean that they did anything illegal. We don't know that. But he certainly traveled in the circles, if you know what I'm getting at, right? This is a cult. This is a cult, people. And it would appear that Kevin Spacey was kind of a part of that. Something happened, though. Something happened. Because this is Kevin Spacey now.
It's being foreclosed on. My house is being sold at auction. It's been over a year since Kevin Spacey's tearful confession on Piers Morgan Uncensored.
I'm not quite sure where I'm going to live now.
Why is it being foreclosed?
Because I can't pay the bills that I owe.
There's a lot for me to process.
Now, the two-time Oscar winner is sharing an update with The Telegraph, admitting he's homeless. I'm living in hotels. I'm living in Airbnbs. I literally have no home. The costs over these last 7 years have been astronomical. I've had very little coming in and everything going out.
How much money do you have?
None.
You're actually in debt.
Yes.
Do you mind me asking how much you owe?
It's considerable.
Millions?
Many millions, yes.
But Kevin sees a light at the end of the tunnel. He's optimistic about a return to Hollywood. We are in touch with some extremely powerful people who want to put me back to work, and that will happen in its right time. If Martin Scorsese or Quentin Tarantino call my manager Evan Lowenstein tomorrow, my exile will be over. I will be incredibly honored and delighted when that level of talent picks up the phone.
What are you going to do?
Get back on the horse. Get back on the horse.
That's all I have to say for the moment.
Kevin's legal troubles began back in 2017.
This is sad on so many levels. First of all, Kevin Spacey, a very, as far as I'm concerned, a great actor. I don't know. Because actually, when I looked into this story, did you know that he was actually not charged with any crime? He was not charged in a court of law with any crime. The charges were acquitted in some cases, and he wasn't charged with anything. So do you start really look? Do you see how this works here? Right? This is a cult. I call it a cult for a reason. You play the game, or that's what happens to you. And so when people say, well, why, how would everybody be in on it or whatever? This is the game. Okay. So the other thing that's sad to me here is that he wants back in. He wants back in to this. I think I would just, but then you got to think about it. This is somebody who's been living, as a very wealthy person. And he probably looks at this and it's like, well, what else can I do that would make me this amount of money? Nothing, right? But he didn't seem to give anybody up either. Kevin Spacey. But it makes you wonder. What didn't he do? Did he get a little too big for his britches and they kicked him to the curb? What happened here? What happened here? Because you can guarantee that ain't organic, right? Those charges didn't come out of nowhere. And same with Russell Brand, right? 25 years later, someone's just going to wake up one morning and decide at the same time when Russell Brand's going against the narrative that they want to charge him with this. It was interesting because when I started looking at the statutes of limitations for sex crimes in the U.S., did you know that President Biden signed the Eliminating Limits to Justice for Sex Abuse Victims Act of 2022 on September 16th of 2022, which abolished the statute of limitations for many federal civil claims related to sexual abuse, sex trafficking, exploitation of minors and such. And you think, oh, that's wonderful. That's what the average person thinks, right? Not me, because I know what they're up to. Of course, of course, better have you might as well have a millstone around your neck, right? If you dare hurt a child. And trust me, I'm the first person to protect children. Absolutely. But there's always something behind these things. And the something behind this is they want every tool to be able to weaponize it against people so that they can control people. Make no mistake about it. That wasn't about protecting children, because we all know how that goes in this country. No, this is about weaponizing the law and extorting people. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Head on over to naturallyinspiredstore.com. Pick your protocol. We've got a whole bunch of them, easy peasy, lined up in our digital cart for you. You just hit purchase, and all of these protocols have free shipping on them as well. So we have ones for inflammation. We have ones for if you're wanting better skin, joint pain, all of these different ones. All you got to do to pick your protocol is go to naturallyinspiredstore.com and click on one of the different protocols. Purchase. When you make your purchase, you get free shipping. If you have any questions about protocols at all, just text me 720-303-8868. So, I would say it's the United States of Blackmail. Okay, that's Whitney Webb's book. That's a great read. I actually listened to it on audiobook, and it's been a while since I listened to it. But you want to understand how they blackmail people. I mean, they're constantly looking for information on people, gathering information. And I think it's called the DC Madam. Jason in the chat, let me know if that was the name of the book that I'm thinking of, where they actually wired houses in DC. Yes, it is. The DC Madam. So this was a whole operation, right? Where they wired houses for audio, for video, and they would, it was a honeypot. And so it was actually tied to the Franklin cover-up, which is an absolutely horrific book. I could not read it myself. It is horrific. But anyway, that goes really, really deep. That's also Nick Bryant. So he's the expert on that. But again, it's sex trafficking. It's exploitation of minors. It's horrific, you guys. It's horrific. Anyway, that's what these types of people are all up to. And they're trying desperately to cover all of this up. And so when I was going through some of this stuff, I'm like, oh, what are the dates on that? What are the dates on that? Do you remember Me Too? Yeah. So, Kevin Spacey was canceled at the beginning of 2017. And it was the early phase of Me Too. Huh. Okay, that's interesting. But then, Me Too escalated. And man, Hollywood was alive with Me Too. It was Me Too, Me Too, Me Too, Me Too, Me Too. Even some, I don't know. Some people I saw on social media saying Me Too. I'm like, really? Somebody Me Too'd you? I'm not trying to be mean, but you know what I'm talking about, right? It's like, really? Somebody Me Too'd you? Because I've never been Me Too'd. I can barely tell if someone's hitting on me or not. I've always been that way. So I don't, maybe I missed it. Maybe I missed it. I don't know. It's possible. Maybe I missed it. I'm not sure. I probably just didn't pick up on the vibes or something. I don't know. But everybody was Me Too there for a while, right? All over Facebook. I mean, I didn't even know some of these women had boyfriends, ever, but they apparently were Me Too'd, So it was quite a campaign. It was quite a campaign that captured, well, I would say national attention. And so I find that interesting because when you go back and you look at the timeline here, well, what was going on when Kevin Spacey started getting, Me Too'd, then Harvey Weinstein, right? That was the big player that fell, right? And I'm not saying these people didn't do it, okay? I'm not saying these people didn't do it. I have no idea. But it's interesting, the timeline, right? Because what was happening with Jeffrey Epstein at that same time? Epstein had already received a controversial plea deal in 2008. From 2017 to 19, Epstein's broader network of elites wasn't really a major media focus, but he was arrested in 2019, and that's when attention spiked. Right? But many powerful associates were never fully investigated in public view. Well, what was going on? Me Too coverage during that time. Celebrities, mid-level executives, cultural figures, and a lot less attention went to the intelligence ties, financial networks, political power brokers, international trafficking systems. Epstein implicated systems, not necessarily individuals. Epstein's case pointed to money laundering, right? Like, yes, the sex trafficking is a huge thing. Don't get me wrong. And that's what we're all concerned about because we love kids, right? And we get fired up when kids are harmed. So that's what we're all focused on. But allegedly, there was some pretty serious stuff going on with, arms trafficking, international money laundering, allegedly, right? The question is why, right? The same people that allow it for decades, all of a sudden did everything to take these people down, like Harvey Weinstein, right? We see the pictures with Oprah and Harvey. Everybody loved Harvey. Right? Everybody loved him. Best movies. Thank you to Harvey Weinstein from the stage. Right? Something tripped, you guys. What was it? What was it? What was the threat? Because while we were all watching Me Too, there was a lot of other things that people were really worried about. So just something to consider. Right? When we see people get thrown to the wolves like this, yes, maybe they are dirtbags. Yes, maybe they did do things. I don't know. But there's something behind that. And that's what we should be questioning because that's truly going to wake people up about how the world does work. This is a high stakes. Most of us just, we don't have much evil in us. And so we can't even fathom the evil that goes on. But let me tell you, when you get to know somebody like Kathy O'Brien, when you get to know Asia, she goes by an alias, her name's Asia, interviewed her about satanic ritual abuse many years ago. These people, what a story. I don't know how anybody could make that up. And then they aren't alone in these stories. They pop up from time to time here and there. And then they disappear. Things boil up and then it gets pushed back down. And that's what we've seen with Epstein. Right? It boils up, it gets pushed back down. It boils up, gets pushed back down. What's pushing it back down? Because I don't know, there's a cop that sits out over here on the main drag in my hometown pulling people over every day on their way to take their kids to school. That's a big concern. You can't have a mom going 5 over on her way to take her kids to school. Got to stop that crime. But these people, like I've said over and over again, They do not play on the same game board as we do. And so when I see things like this, like Russell Brand, I'm like, okay, he's not playing the game the way they want him to. And most people getting into the game, you got to think about these people that are getting into the game. What are they doing to get into the game? What are they doing to get into the game? Because I guarantee you, they're doing something. Now, I'm not saying like I want to get back to Harvey Weinstein, because I found this kind of peculiar, actually, weeks and weeks ago, maybe even a year ago. I don't know, because I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention at the time. I just found it a little peculiar that Candace Owens was actually bringing attention to Harvey Weinstein's Me Too case. And she was going, why now? Why are they taking this guy down now? Right? Like this has been going on a very long time. All of a sudden, everybody turns on this guy. Why? She was just pointing out that a lot of this stuff that happens like this is transactional. Right? Her argument was that Weinstein was convicted in the court of public opinion first, because every celebrity and every me too, somebody had to go down. And he was the one. So why Weinstein? Why was it him that became the kind of symbolic villain of the Me Too movement? Where's Me Too now? Kind of simmered down, didn't it? So I'm always just very skeptical of what is going on when we see these massive movements that's sucking the air out of every room. Everybody's focused on it, right? Why? Where are we not supposed to be looking? And I think the Me Too, looking back on it now, I think the Me Too probably had a lot to do with Epstein. I think that's very likely. I mean, all of the things that they have tried to do to keep this information from getting out, it just makes you wonder, Well, I don't even wonder. I pretty much know. I'm sickened by it. What happens when, the people actually wake up and understand that this is the game that's being played? This is the game. High stakes game for power, control, legacy, money, of course. But just think about this game. If we continue to let this game go on, think about it when we get to digital ID and mass surveillance. Pre-crime. They have digital ID. They have all this surveillance for us. If you think something, you can grab that, whatever you think, and publicize it and cancel you. If Kevin Spacey can be made homeless, just think about what they could do to us. There's a lot more around this than meets the eye. I feel bad for Russell Brand. Stay tuned, everybody, for your naturally inspired moment. We'll be right back.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
Hey, if you're looking for better results with your health in 2026, I'm your gal. Join us in the Naturally Inspired community. Just make a purchase. If you make a purchase at naturallyinspiredstore.com, that automatically gets you into our community where you get free health coaching with me on my health text line. You get weekly wellness workshops on Tuesday nights where we talk about a different health top every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. We're not doing one, obviously, this week because of Christmas, but we'll be picking up again in the new year with those, and you're not going to want to miss them. We talk about very important strategies, and there's also question and answer period and whatnot. So it doesn't cost you anything. Just book a free assessment. I'll explain, and I know you'll want to be a part of it. Once you understand, it's like once everybody understands, oh, that's how this works. I'm buying this stuff anyway, and I really need this support, and I love community, and I want to change the medical model. It's like, yeah, it's a no-brainer. So I love having conversations with you. So you can text me 720-303-8868 if you just want more information. Otherwise, go to naturallyinspiredstore.com and book an assessment. And I look forward to spending some time with you. All right, let's get to our naturally inspired moment for today. I want to talk about 5 ways to find peace in simplicity. You know, we're talking about all of this culture control, which is precisely what it is. You know, people join the cult because I think they don't know what it is they're getting into. I mean, a lot of people, they go to Hollywood because they have big dreams of being like a celebrity, an actress, or, in entertainment of some sort. And, it's a pure dream. It starts from a pure dream, but it's very difficult to achieve that dream. And so if you are susceptible to being a person that will do what they're told to get what they want, and you have the right look and you have, something that they can monetize, then you're going to get snatched up, and I think many people do it naively and they don't really realize the business of it. But when you listen to people talk about the business of it, I mean, gosh, I just saw another child actor video that's going viral. And it was, I don't recall the actor or, the show even, because it was kind of in the gap where my kids, I think, were a little bit too old or whatever. But so I didn't recognize him. But he was another child star, who is now roaming the streets, homeless and addicted. It was a Nickelodeon. Of course, and then we know that story that came out about Nickelodeon, right? With one of the producers who was doing bad things to kids on there. And then there's another actress, Amanda Bynes, who is you don't need to be Sherlock Holmes to figure this out, right? It's over and over. It's a pattern, right? So while all this is going on in the world, it's very easy to get sucked into it. But we all need to understand that, we deserve happiness in our lives. We deserve to cultivate a life that brings us joy and peace, right? We can pray for better things in the world, and, we can contribute. Everybody can do a little thing in the world, that contributes to make it a better place. But you can't live in the darkness. And so I think going into 2026, this is going to be my mantra. I think it's peace in simplicity. That's what I'm going to focus on in 2026. And the reason being is because, you can't help other people if you don't have peace in your own life. And so here they are, 5 ways to find peace in simplicity. Number 1, you got to reduce inputs before adding solutions. So peace often returns when you stop overstimulating your mind. So lessen the noise. You don't have to have an opinion on everything. I'm finding that, there's just some things I just don't need to form an opinion on, So you're not required to have an opinion about everything. Fewer screens, right? Stop spending so much time getting sucked down the scroll hole. Get out into God's nature. It recharges you. Simplicity starts by subtracting, right? Get rid of clutter even in around your house. If you have, I've been doing that now for a few months, just like cleaning out the closets, trying to like just get rid of some of this stuff, right? I don't even know why I have it. I'm sure you can relate. Okay. Number 2, decide what actually matters today. Decide what matters. Write it down. Not everything deserves your energy. Choose 1 or 2 priorities that align with your values and your beliefs, and then let the rest wait. Top priority's got to be health. It's got to be. You can't do anything if you're not feeling well. And so it's got to be your top priority. Number 3, anchor yourself to rhythm, not urgency. So in this world, everybody wants everything yesterday. It's all about speed, hurry. Well, I've learned that when someone's pressuring you with urgency, there might be more that you need to consider before making a decision, especially in the medical world. When urgency, if there's obviously if it's life-threatening, I'm not talking about emergency medicine here, right? I mean, I don't have to say that, do I? But you know what I mean. If there's an urgency, then what's the hurry? Is this really is this a real emergency, or is the urgency being fabricated so that you don't take more time to assess what's going on and what your other options are? So it's about a rhythm. It's not about urgency. Nature operates in rhythms, doesn't rush. Right? When you live by constant urgency, peace disappears. Rhythm restores calm and clarity. Okay. Number 4, own less. Oh yeah. Own less mentally and physically. Clutter isn't just in closets. It's in commitments, expectations, and unresolved thoughts. Simplicity creates space to breathe. So what I've been doing this year for the last several months is thinking about everything that I do, I want to close the circle on. So if I start a project, I got to think about it. Am I going to start this project? Because how am I going to be able to come from full circle on this and close the circle on this? Am I able to do that? If I'm able to do that, then I do it. Right? But it's very important, even picking up around my house. In my messy kitchen, I'm trying to get much better at closing the circle. If I cook something or whatever, I got to do the dishes right away and close the circle. And you'll be amazed about the impact on your life that can have. Just by committing to yourself, every action I take, I'm going to close the circle as quickly as I can in a rhythm, right? Not with urgency, but in a rhythm. Okay, so maybe that visual will help you. It's totally helping me. I just think about, I got to do those dishes because I got to close the circle. Return to stewardship over control. I love this one. So you don't need to manage everything. Only steward what's been entrusted to you. Peace comes when you stop trying to control outcomes and start honoring responsibility, right? You can't control everybody. You can't control what they think of you. You can't control your kids. You can't control your husband. You can't control your wife. You can't control your sister. You can't control your mom. You got no control over anything, right? But you can accept stewardship. And when you accept stewardship, then you slip into the role of model, right? You model what you want to see more of. Being a steward of even a bit of land, right, is very important. It's important to me that I make sure that, we have all these tumbleweeds everywhere because of all the wind lately. But like, I'm a steward of this land. I can let those tumbleweeds stay there forever, or I can get out there and start, little by little, getting them gathered and getting them off the property, right? Not because anybody will even see them, because I'm way out here in the country, but it matters to me. Because I'm a steward of this land. These are my animals. I need to be a steward of the land and take care of them because I am grateful for them. I am grateful for God's design. I am mesmerized by the peace that animals bring me. And so I honor that. I want to honor that. I'm a steward of that. You can only be a steward of your relationships as well, though. You can't make your spouse act a certain way. You can't. You can only honor the relationship and uphold your part, your role in it, and model the type of respect, the type of, exchanges that you have with people. You can only be a steward of those relationships. You cannot control. And I think too often we want to control with good intentions, with good intentions, we want to control. But like, even with health, I talk to people all the time, that are on the absolute opposite side of their spouses when it comes to health. Their spouses are all about the pharma and, oh, that stuff doesn't work. It's just ridiculous. It's stupid. Their brother gives them a hard time about that, or their wife, or their, husband, or whatever. But they know it. They know in their intuition is leading them towards real solutions for health. But we can't make other people do that. All we can do is model that behavior. But I'll tell you, when you start getting results, it's a game changer. So, that can be a great motivator, wanting to get your results, staying consistent and committed to what you're doing to cultivate health in your own life. When you have naysayers all around you, right, who don't want to hear about this or don't want to hear about that, they just like their pills and they like, the medical model. It's like, oh, well, this is what I got to do. They can't argue with results. So let that be a motivator, right? You don't got to say anything. When you start saying stuff about it and telling people what to think, you're just getting into a spot where you're trying to control, and that's not stewardship. That's not stewardship. So, you can just come at it from a different point of view. And these are some simplistic ways to kind of keep your peace, understanding that you don't have to have control, own less mentally and physically, anchor yourself with your rhythm, right? Not urgency. Don't rush yourself. Understand step by step. You know what becoming an expert looks like? It's not talent. It's practice. So commit yourself to practicing and decide what actually matters to you as we go into the new year, and reduce inputs before adding solutions. It's about subtraction. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert-Garcia. Merry Christmas. We're going into the second hour. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio. Save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. NaturallyInspiredRadio.com.
Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome back to Hour 2 of Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm so glad you're joining me on this Christmas Eve day. I'm excited for Christmas tomorrow. Merry Christmas to you and to your families. I'm so grateful that you join me each and every day. I really am. And I'm excited for 2026 and what we're going to be able to accomplish, because more and more people are hearing this message that we talk about here every day, real solutions for health on Naturally Inspired. More people are hearing this and they're waking up to it. And I tell you, we're going to make an impact. We are. And guess what? We don't need politicians to change culture in our own country. No, we don't. Contrary to what many people think, we do not need politicians to shape our culture. We, the people, shape our culture, and we do it with our vast numbers. But we do have to wake people up, right? We have to understand that we've got to take back personal responsibility. And I feel like, the scales are turning, are shifting a little bit, and people are starting to take back their own power and welcoming back the ability to choose, especially when it comes to their health. So I'm hopeful, and I hope you are too. I know it's a dark world. Believe me, I know it's a dark world. But we have to stay in the light, because if we're going to get into the dark as well, it just pulls us down in, right? Don't engage, and stay in the light, right? Focus on the good things to come in the future and what you can do personally to shape culture in your country. Which brings me to my my fun little segment that I've been doing about American culture, because a lot of people on the left, it would seem, a lot of people that, come from the woke culture type of people, they want you to think that you do not have any culture at all. You're just American, and Americans don't have any culture, right? Nope. That's not true. You do have culture. You have fantastic culture. And I've been having a lot of fun researching some topics to bring up, because I want everybody to revisit your culture, embrace it. Because if you don't claim your culture in your own country, somebody else will. And let me tell you, they're already here for it. They're already here for it. So here's a good one. Well, I'm a little biased, I guess. Here's a really good one I want to talk about today. And it is radio. Because did you know that the history of radio broadcasting in America, United States, is deeply tied to American innovation? It's deeply tied to free speech, culture, and community. It shaped how Americans learned, gathered, and formed, and also shared identity long before TV or the internet ever did. And so today, because it's Christmas Eve, I wanted to share with you from one of my favorites, Paul Harvey, and his little Christmas story. Take a listen.
Christmas seasons and sometimes in between, pulpits are aflame with righteous wrath over the Jesus born in a manger story. The very idea that men had waited through 20 centuries of darkness and the long-sought light had to enter the world through the window of a stable. Prophets of the Old Testament had told them where to expect the baby and approximately when, and yet the innkeeper did not even reserve a room. Well, now let's hold the phone here. The innkeeper's been getting a bum rap. If Robert Schuller was not the first to remind us, he was certainly the most eloquent when once upon a Christmas time he re-recited the Bethlehem story, and he protested that the innkeeper had become the victim of cheap shots by preachers and teachers and pageant writers. The Bible does not accuse the innkeeper. Joseph did not complain to the innkeeper. Mary did not complain. Actually, the stable was a cave in a hillside where the cattle lived. It had many advantages over a room at the inn. The inn in Bethlehem was no Marriott hotel. It was a place where the masses collected, ruffians and thieves and heavy drinkers, rowdy men. In the inn, there would have been no soft straw bed. Mary would have had to lie on a hard floor. The inn was jam-packed at tax-paying time. The groans and natural screams of a teenage mother delivering her first child would have been overheard in other rooms. In the stable was privacy, where nobody would overhear her labor. No leering eyes would peer upon a woman giving birth. The stable was safe and secure and warmer than the inn. The inn was without heat, no furnaces, no more than one lobby fireplace. But the wide nostrils of cattle exhaling steam, breathing in the cold air and breathing out the warm air, warmed the stable. What might Joseph have done to protect his tax money against the thieves and the ruffians in the inn? Yet in the safety of the stable there was no fear of a knife at one's throat in the night. So God and the innkeeper cooperated to provide a perfect place for Jesus to be born. A safe place, a quiet, soft, warm, comparatively comfortable, perfect place. And besides, the much maligned innkeeper of Bethlehem had given the best that he had. And isn't that all that is asked of any of us?
Can you get a better radio voice than Paul Harvey, right? It's just a magical voice, really, that can, I don't know, it just brings you back to comfort, right? I just, such an iconic American radio voice. And that little story that he shares there is just a reminder that sometimes, we think we want something, but it's not what we need. And somehow it always works out. We end up getting what we need. And that's just a great little Christmas story and a reminder of that. The first broadcasts in America, 1920 to 1929, at KDKA in Pittsburgh aired the first commercial radio broadcast where they announced election results. Radio stations rapidly popped up across the country. Americans gathered around radios for news, music, sports, church services, and radio became America's first real-time mass medium. The golden age of radio, as it's known, was 1930s to 1940s, known as the era when radio was the center of American homes. Popular programming include radio dramas, comedy shows, live music, and of course, presidential fireside chats by Franklin D. Roosevelt. Radio unified the country during the Great Depression and during World War II. Radio built national morale and shared truth in uncertain times. Regulation and structure, the Federal Communications Commission was created in 1934 to regulate radio frequencies and licensing. Broadcasters were required to serve the public interest, convenience, and necessity. This cemented radio as both a commercial and public service medium. So a little background for you about radio and how important it was and in American culture because of free speech, right? Because of free speech. And of course, this gave way to things like talk radio and syndication in the 80s and 90s. There was a repeal of the Fairness Doctrine in 1987 that changed broadcasting rules. Talk radio then exploded, giving rise to long-form commentary, political debate, and national syndication. Radio became more opinion-driven and personality-centered, and this era reshaped American political discourse. I think you could say that because of radio, we have podcasting today, right? It's evolved into podcasting. But if we never had radio to kind of, pique people's interest and as a form of information and medium, if you will, of expression, then I'm certain we wouldn't have podcasting today. If it weren't for talk radio. And of course, that bloomed right here in your country. So, the audacity of people to say that America doesn't have a culture, that we don't have a culture. No, that is an attempt to erase your culture so that you don't claim it, so that other people can come in and say, well, this is our place now, right? Very, very important as we go into 2026, people. I think we will see why it is so incredibly important. We're seeing a lot of things going down in Michigan and now in Texas, where there's a very unforgiving, I guess you could say, a very unforgiving religion moving into our country in the masses. And it is not conducive with the Western world. But I'll tell you, if we don't get clear on our culture, otherwise known as the way we do things around here, then other people will. They'll get clear. They'll get very clear about how they'd like things to run around here. And so there's no need to fight. There's no need to squabble or argue. But it's a time where I think that Americans need to be very decisive And that's been an issue, I feel like, for quite some time now, this decisiveness, right? Do I make a decision? What do I do? I don't want to be called this. I don't want to be called that. I'm not really sure. I'm just doing my job. No. You have a beautiful culture. It's fun. It's cool. It's exciting. It's new. And you have every right to claim it and own it. And you live here. This is your land. This is where you live. We've got a way we do things around here. And, within reason, I'm not talking about crazy stuff here. This is just like, we wear jeans in America. That's what we do. That's the way we do it around here. A lot of us wear jeans, right? I don't want to see that changing anytime soon. I will be wearing jeans. And I hope you will too. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia. I'm so glad you're joining me today, this 2025 Christmas Eve. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalyinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Take advantage of buy one, get one, BOGO. Who doesn't love BOGO? If you're like me, you love a bargain. Trust me, I love a bargain. I am a bargain girl. I love bargains. And so I took advantage of this deal. I hope you will too, because I have over 30 products available at naturallyinspiredstore.com that are buy one, get one. Now, you want a recommendation from me? I'll tell you that the collagen is awesome. It's low molecular weight, it's liquid, and it is highly absorbable. And so I have improved my mobility in my neck. I've improved my mobility in my hips. I have improved hair, improved skin, improved nails. Even things like little stretch marks that I had and stuff have disappeared. Yeah. And those are old. I'm talking little stretch marks from puberty that I had forever. And they've diminished, and in some cases, they're even gone completely. And I'm not the only one. I thought, is this possible? So I called up one of my friends that also uses it, who's a practitioner as well. And she said, "Oh yeah, I have several people." And I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So discovered that, a long time ago. And so I am sold on this collagen. It's phenomenal. So you should try it. If you are over the age of 25, you are losing collagen at 1% a year. And let me tell you, if you've hit perimenopause and menopause, yep, that accelerates. Not fun. The elasticity in the skin definitely diminishes even more when you hit that period of life. So listen, don't even worry about it. Just get on the collagen. Go to naturallyinspiredstore.com. Take advantage of the buy one, get one. It is the immune collagen that is buy one, get one. Don't miss out. If you've got questions, just text me, 720-303-8868. All right, let's get into some news stories. Oh gosh, this one I'm like, gosh, this is what gets me so fired up. Okay. I hate to get all worked up again. It's Christmas Eve and all, but seriously, it just makes me so mad because this is so predatory. And every time I see some of these ladies, with all the filler and all the Botox, and my daughter and I were out just this few days ago, and we were talking to this other mom and daughter out there, and, lovely people, but like both of them are all Botoxed up, right? Like the shiny and the just blah. And I'm not judging in a way like that, I'm not trying to be mean. That's not, but I feel bad because when I see people that have done that to their face, where they don't even look like themselves anymore, all I see is insecurity. It's like, oh gosh, they got them, they got them thinking that they weren't enough. They got them thinking they weren't enough. And why? Why did you think you weren't enough? And it's just like, you're enough. You're plenty. You're fantastic. Like, I get wanting to feel good and all that. Like, I do too. That's why I get my hair done. And, I love fashion. Like, you don't have to sacrifice your health. It's not worth it. So I find it heartbreaking when I see like these people with like all of the stuff, and it's happening younger and younger and younger. And, I knew it. And now we're going to head into an era where everybody else finds out too. Listen to this.
Hey, Gary.
Yeah.
Why is Botox bad for you?
A lot of times people said that botulism, which is what it is a deadly disease that you put in your face. It's not actually harmful. That was the research for a long time. But like a lot of things, there's now information coming out that's proving that the Botox goes right into the brain and into the brain stem. It's not my opinion. This is actually published science now. So the people who told you that it was okay are the ones that were the ones selling it to you. Just think about that. There's no way that putting poison into your body, into your skin, is going to be good at any time.
What can we do instead?
Natural Botox, minerals, sunlight, plasma minerals.
I know, because, these Botox is becoming like a regular practice, right? Like it used to be just like for Hollywood for many years. It was for people who were in kind of the face business, and it was kind of isolated there because I think it was pretty expensive, when it came out. But now, I mean, I just passed by today or yesterday, like a spa. Like come in, get a massage, get your nails done. And also we have injectables. Ew. Really? Like it's like drive-through, aesthetics, I guess. But I don't know. Like for me, it's hard because I understand wanting to feel good in your body and comfortable with the way that you look, but they're selling you lies. They're selling you lies. I mean, just there's better ways, he's like natural Botox. Yeah. Collagen, take collagen, get on polyphenols. Polyphenols are awesome for mitochondria, right? Exercise. Exercise is fantastic for, what I notice more so than the lines on someone's face. You know what I notice more? The way people move. I'll tell you what, you want to stay young, you want to look young, stay mobile. Because sometimes I see people and they're shuffling along or they're limping along and I'm like, wow, how old are they? 40? Oh, geez, they're moving like a 70-year-old. So you don't have to sacrifice your health for an aesthetic. You really, I mean, I just hope we can move past this, you know, in the age of social media with all the filters and all that stuff. It's just like, ugh, I'm just tired of it. You know, everybody's starting to look the same, which is bizarro land. You know, we have trannies that are doing the Botox and everything, just like ladies are. And it's like, oh my gosh, is that like, they're starting to look the same to me. I'm probably going to get in trouble for that. Of course I am, but I don't care. You know, that's just how it is. And if people are being honest, they know it's true. They know it's true. So, yeah, I guess you can detox. I mean, you know, you can't really detox from Botox use, but it does wear off, you know, between 3 and 6 months, right? So Botox is, it blocks nerve signals to muscles, causes muscle paralysis or weakening. Your body does not metabolize Botox like a drug that you can flush out. It degrades over time at the neuromuscular junction, and nerve endings slowly regenerate. So again, like, I don't know. I guess it was paralysis that freaked me out about it. You know, just like this whole GLP-1 injectable stuff. Like, it's the paralysis that gets me. You know, I just don't think I have the stomach for paralysis. Stomach paralysis? No, thank you. Facial paralysis? No, thank you. I don't know. You know, I don't know. I'll stick with my methylated B vitamins, my omega-3s, my Vivix, my cellular reset, my collagen, and, you know, a few other special sauces that I take. I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to keep working out, and I'm going to keep, you know, buying clothes that are in fashion that I like because I love fashion. Yeah, I'm going to keep doing those things, and we'll see how it goes. This is what you got, you know? I just don't think it's worth, because I hate to say this, you know, because it's scary, but they're starting to find out that this could lead to things like Alzheimer's. So it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And you know what? I think we're going to become more and more inclined to embrace individuality as beauty, because we're going to see a lot less of it. And so embrace your individuality. You know, be creative. Be creative, you know. Be creative with the way you dress. Be creative. Because I think individuality is going to be the new hot. There, I said it. All right, next story I want to cover is about dietary guidelines. I've been telling you that that's been coming down the pipe here. So I think we have just enough time to get in the clip before we go to break. Take a listen to this.
The friend of the forgotten American. Obesity is a disease of poverty, overwhelmingly. And these drugs have only been available for people who have wealth. At one point, the majority of prescriptions, the highest concentration of prescriptions in this country, was the Upper West Side of Manhattan. And what about the people who live in rural areas, who live in food deserts? What about the people in urban areas who live in food deserts and are suffering from obesity and are locked into that system where they can only get ultra-processed foods, which are aggravating the problem? This will be a lifesaver to them. It's not a panacea. It's not a silver bullet. President Trump has also instructed us to address and end the root causes of chronic disease, and we're doing that. We're about to release dietary guidelines that are going to change the food culture in this country. They're going to change the kind of food the military gets. They're going to change the kind of food that are...
Change the food culture. Now, I think a lot of people think that, hey, I don't follow the pyramid anyway. You know, I don't follow the dietary guidelines. Listen, we were all raised on the dietary guidelines. I'll tell you about it when we come back. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia, and I am so glad that you are here. We'll be right back.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Welcome back. I want to invite you to the Naturally Inspired community. Book an assessment, make a purchase. We are kind of getting to be a tight-knit community, let me tell you. It's fun in here. You'll get my words of encouragement in the morning. So every morning, Monday through Friday, get a little message from me that sets the tone for the day, making sure that you make your health a priority. That's just one of the things. Then you get the Tuesday night weekly wellness workshops. Then you get my health text line where we banter back and forth. We have a few laughs. We also exchange information, questions, research papers, all kinds of stuff goes on my health text line. Let me tell you, if I get surveilled, if we go into the digital, I'm cooked. I'm cooked because I'm sending you white papers. I'm telling you where to get information. I'm giving you vocabulary, what to say, who to say it to in order to get the solutions that you want with your health. It's pretty risky out here, but I'm going to keep going. So if that sounds good to you, get into the Naturally Inspired community. You can get there by making a purchase at naturallyinspiredstore.com. If you have questions, and you can book an assessment there too. But if you have questions for me, like, I don't really get this, but yeah, come on over. 720-303-8868. It's me. It is me. So throw me a text and I'll get back to you right away. All right, let's talk about these dietary guidelines, shall we? So first of all, they're talking about the injections that we were just talking about. And, here's the thing about a lot of these new drugs. We don't got any time in them, right? So we got some time on Botox now, right? We got some time in. It's not looking good, right? But when it came out, it's all safe and effective. But, you really don't know the side effects and the outcomes from these drugs until sometimes decades later. And that's why I always say, food first, lifestyle first, pharma absolutely last. It's got to be last because it's a gamble. It's always a gamble. And then, we find out stuff like this. We find out stuff like this about Botox. We already got a class action lawsuit on some of these injectable GLP-1s. We can see where it's going. So, not thrilled that they talk about that. But again, negotiations. We're talking about negotiations. I feel like, and this is just me, right? I've got no proof of this or anything, but I feel like, hey, man, we'll give you the GLP-1s through Medicare and Medicaid if you give us a little leadway on the vaccines. I feel like that's what goes on. You give us this, we'll give you that. It's like, why do we have to negotiate with megacorps when it comes to our health? This is in many cases, life or death. But nonetheless, this is a system we have. And this is what we have. This is what we have built through turning a blind eye, through giving agency over to white coats, giving agency. Oh, I don't know. Giving our agency over to other people so we don't have to do our own thinking. We got to claim it back. We've got to claim it back. So anyway, the dietary guidelines, you think they don't affect you, but actually they do. Okay. Because it's institutionalized. So you go into a hospital. What do you get? Dietary guidelines. You get a lot of carbohydrates, right? You get a lot of oh my gosh, some of this hospital food is just, good Lord, they're not trying to heal you. That's for sure. You might as well just it's bad. Right? Same thing at schools, same things at prisons. It's all institutionalized. It's all institutionalized. And so, even when you're going out to events and stuff, big events, well, a lot of it's, a lot of carbohydrates available, not a lot of meat available sometimes, even though meat's big in America as it is. But there's still a lot of ultra processed foods that have been pushed through, bought and paid for, because what ended up on your plate was lobbied for and paid for. Had nothing to do with your health. And so hopefully we can get to a point now where, because we're in this epidemic of dis-ease, obesity being part of that, we can move away from it. We're desperate enough that we can change the dietary guidelines to obviously protein, right? We need protein. Turns out this whole fat-free debacle diet culture BS that screwed everybody's metabolism up, right? Everybody's metabolic health up. We can kiss that goodbye. At least we can feel good about the fact moving forward. Maybe our daughters, and our grandkids they won't even know what diet food is, hopefully, because I think we're getting there. A lot of people, the big thing I hear is yeah, we used to use margarine, but I never liked margarine, so people can understand the difference between butter's way better for you than margarine. So and I'm talking about mainstream people here, not you, because obviously, this audience is well informed, but still, people that are just taking the pharma and doing what they're told still, even those people know that margarine's not very good for you. So I think we're making headway. Anyway, dietary guidelines, a switch to protein and healthy fats would be so welcomed, and it will have an impact. Most definitely, it will have an impact. It's going to take time. 20 years from now, we'll see an impact. But it's going to take some time. Yeah, we didn't get here overnight, but we're headed in the right direction. Anyway. Next up, I want to talk about what Trump said about insurance. So let's get that clip in before the break right now. This is Trump on insurance. Finally, we're talking about insurance. Here it is.
With healthcare, the healthcare insurers, the insurance companies. So what I'm asking for in healthcare is very simple. Obamacare is a disaster. I call it the Unaffordable Care Act. Unaffordable as opposed to, it's unaffordable. They're going to have a tremendous increase in premiums, which is Obamacare, which is them, the Democrats' fault. They'll try and blame Republicans. It has nothing to do with us. It's the Democrats' fault. What I want to do is we spend hundreds of billions of dollars a year that go to insurance companies. I want that money to go to the people and let the people buy their own health care. And everybody loves it. It's become our issue. Now, before I do that, I'll meet with the insurance companies, just as I met with the drug companies. As you know, we're meeting with 4 other drug companies, Johnson & Johnson, but they've all agreed. We're meeting with them this week. It's coming up. It'll be a similar meeting. They've all agreed. But nobody would have thought the drug companies were going to do what they did, where they're giving away free drugs. And they've been so great, okay? And we have most favored nations. Nobody thought that was possible. I don't think any other president ever tried to get it because they never thought they could. But with respect to the insurance companies, I want to meet, there's essentially 14 of them, 10 big, but there's a total of 14 pretty much, pretty big. And I want to meet with them and I want to say, I want you to cut your rates way down, way down. And maybe if they do that, we'll be able to not cut them out. We'll be able to continue to deal with them, which is probably a little easier process. I think the best process is pay the money directly to the people, let them buy their own health care. But I'm going to meet with them the first week back. I do it now, but they're trying to come up with a schedule. They want to meet badly, they've told me, but they want to come up with a schedule. I said, make it a good schedule. Your rates have to come way down. We're also going to meet with other insurance companies because under Biden, the insurance rates have gone through the roof. Auto insurance, home insurance. I mean, insurance companies are making far more than they're entitled to make. So we're going to be doing that. But just in the meantime, we'll be meeting with the insurance companies.
That's the Trump weave right there. You know that? So, I try not to get too upset when I hear him talk about, when he says things like pharmaceutical companies have done a great job or whatever. I know what he's doing. I know what you're doing. I studied neuro-linguistic programming, know exactly what you're doing, Trump. He's doing the weave. He's giving them a compliment, and then he's telling them what he might do. And he's giving him a compliment, and he's telling him what he might do. This is what he does when it comes to negotiations. So we will see. Again, it's from a business standpoint, right? Whatever is going to shake out for the betterment of economics, who's in the race here to make money off of this, Who's in the race here to make money, and how are they going to make money off of it? And he's already declared, the insurance companies are making too much money. So it'll be interesting. The good thing is that people are actually talking about insurance now. They're actually talking about it. On the other hand, corporations we have, food corporations are doing stuff like this. Let's go to that before we go to break here. I think we have just enough seconds left. Listen to this.
I'm in human history. Corporations are selling you chocolate that can no longer legally be called chocolate. To classify a product as chocolate, the UK requires at least 20% cocoa. So many popular brands, including a slew of Nestle products, have quietly changed their labels to chocolate flavor coding. Cacao prices have shot up 250% over the past 3 years, so Big Food has reformulated to more vegetable oils, sugars, and other fillers. Major brands like Hershey, Mondelez, and Barry Callebaut are also cutting back for less cocoa usage. With input prices rising, there seems to be two options. Either corporations continue to swap real ingredients for fillers to keep prices the same, or content is kept similar but the price gets pushed to the consumer. Watch out for this over the holidays and expect to pay a little more for properly sourced and formulated.
Oh, I hate to break it to it. This is a great little clip, but I hate to break it to you. They've been doing that for years. They've been doing that for years. There's no such thing as white chocolate, right? There's no such thing as white chocolate. No, chocolate's brown. White chocolate is a bunch of oils and sugar. That's what white chocolate is. And maybe you've even noticed, ice cream has changed. I don't really eat ice cream, but I've seen a number of viral videos where ice cream doesn't melt anymore because it's made out of oil. It's not made out of cream. Also, things like cheese product, taco meat. This is how they get around serving you foods with the suggestibility that it's something when in reality it isn't. That contributes to our health epidemic that we are living in right now. Stay tuned. We'll be back with your health topic.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
When you go to naturallyinspiredstore.com, there's a little button there. It says December specials. You want to click on that because when you click on that, it takes you to our December special flip book. Now, you'll see the first one on there is my favorite, the buy one, get one free immune collagen. But if you go a couple of clicks back, just a few more, there's another one that I want you to pay attention to. It's liquid minerals. And these liquid minerals are a great price right now. You get buy one, get one for $34.99. So you get two for $34.99. Liquid minerals. That's a fantastic deal. So you can get to it by going to naturallyinspiredstore.com and clicking on the December specials. It'll take you to the flip book, and you just got to hit the side button a few times, and the liquid minerals will come up. Now, why do I bring up liquid minerals? Because I want to talk about mineral deficiency to you. And the reason why is because I'm getting a lot of comments and questions on my health text line about some of these signals coming from your body. And I'm like, oh, that's mineral deficiency. That's mineral deficiency. So let's talk about it. What is it? What is it? Mineral deficiency occurs when the body lacks essential minerals like magnesium, zinc, iron, iodine, potassium, selenium, sodium, calcium, and that's needed for enzyme activity. Okay, so very important for nerve signaling and for hormone production. So, you get yourself into a position of like insulin resistance. We've talked about that, right? Insulin resistance, insulin's a hormone. It's a growth hormone. When you have insulin resistance, a lot of times your body will store fat in the liver. So you'll get somebody tell you have a fatty liver. Also, it will even grow skin tags. The body will grow skin tags because it's a growth hormone. That's what insulin is. So when you find yourself in a situation like that, well, then that leads to elevated, cortisol levels, and it's kind of a cascading effect, especially, if you're, over 50 or so and you have dropping estrogen levels, dropping testosterone levels. It's like, I say this all the time, but I don't know that people really hear it when you don't really isolate one thing, they think, oh, well, I've been having this issue, something like, nerve issues, right? I've been having nerve issues. That's what we're focused on. But that's not the only thing going on in your body because you're a synergistic being. So if you're depleted in minerals, you may be focused on one signal, but understand that there's more going on. Right? Because you're deficient in this. Okay, so soil depletion is food depletion. And we know the state of our soils. Modern farming has stripped minerals from our soil. Even a healthy diet can be mineral poor if the soil your food came from was depleted. So, there's a lot of allopathic doctors out there still telling people, if you get on supplements and expensive urine, I'm like, go away. I don't even know how you could possibly say that. We have studies now that I think it's like a ridiculous amount, like a cup of spinach from the 50s to have the nutrient equivalent today. I don't want to quote it, but it's like 30, 40 cups of spinach you'd have to eat today to get the same nutrient equivalent today. And you taste it. I taste it. When I grow spinach here in our garden. It tastes different. When it comes right out of our garden, it tastes different. Of course, I've amended my soils and I don't monocrop, right? I turn that thing over every year. I'm always rotating my crops. And, we have plenty of manure and all that stuff. So, but the spinach tastes different. It almost tastes like, this is going to sound funny, but it's like more planty. It tastes more planty. Okay. So there's something to that. And so to think that our food, the industrialized food system that our food is coming out of, it just doesn't, it's got way less nutrition in it than it used to. Also, poor absorption, right? So poor intake. A lot of people dealing with leaky gut, right? They're dealing with blocked detox pathways. So it can be tough for absorption. You can eat minerals and still be deficient because of low stomach acid, because of gut inflammation or dysbiosis. Also, medications, right? Medications like antacids, PPIs, even metformin and antibiotics. They deplete you of minerals. Chronic stress burns minerals. Ooh, yeah. So stress rapidly depletes magnesium, zinc, potassium, sodium, and cortisol causes increased urinary loss of minerals. Okay, so if you have high cortisol, it increases urinary loss of minerals, creating a vicious cycle. Ultra-processed foods displace minerals. Processed foods are calorie-dense, mineral-poor, often high in refined carbohydrates and seed oils that increase mineral demand without supplying any. Detoxification and illness increase mineral needs. So when the body's fighting infection, detoxing from chemicals or heavy metals, or healing from injury or chronic illness, mineral requirements go up, not down. Okay. Symptoms are often misdiagnosed from, as something else when it's actually mineral deficiency. Anxiety and depression, big one. Okay. Because if you're deficient, especially in magnesium, you're going to feel anxious and you're going to have different expression in mood. Fatigue is another one. Muscle cramps and twitching. I burn through magnesium fast. And if I let myself go without it for a while, I get the eye twitches. That's magnesium. That's magnesium. Any kind of twitching, restless leg. Okay. What else? Heart palpitations can come from mineral deficiency. Blood sugar instability. Also, again, hormone imbalance. Okay. So these things, you go to the doctor, you say, oh, I got anxiety. They give you some pills. You go, oh, I got this chronic fatigue. They give you some pills. You go, oh, my heart. And they give you some pills, blood sugar, pills, injection, hormone, HRT. Like they're always throwing pills at you, right? Nobody ever says what's root cause of this, right? So you can quiet the signals from your body with medication. Absolutely. You can quiet it, but you don't fix it because only the body heals. And you're not deficient in pharmaceuticals. You're not. You're deficient sometimes in minerals because your food is deficient. So minerals don't just build the body, they regulate every signal that keeps it alive. So you have to mineralize, you have to make sure that you're getting these things. And the only way to really make sure you're getting them is to supplement, because we don't really know. We can eat as healthy as, as we know how to do, but doesn't guarantee the quality of the food that we're intaking, right? So take advantage of the buy one, get one deal at naturallyinspiredstore.com. Those are great minerals. So, some things that you want to just make sure that you're keeping on top of, right? A lot of people with fatigue, this is a big one, especially the muscle cramps or the shaky legs or the twitching. Listen, this is all communication coming from your body. Right? Even a lot of questions about hair loss recently. Hair loss can be attributed to deficiency in minerals as well. And, it's interesting because I first learned about minerals from one of my teachers, and he was a veterinarian. And when animals are low in minerals, they'll go around and they'll, lick dirt. They'll gnaw on fences. They'll lick, metal or whatever. And that's a sign when as a veterinarian that, we need to mineralize this herd or, mineralize this flock or what have you. But here we are as humans. We got all the signals going on, but somehow we think the answer is pharmaceuticals to silence the communication. That's why a lot of veterinarians, they know simple solutions. It's not that they're being holistic. It's that they were taught that in vet school, that animals get deficient in certain minerals and you have to supplement them with things. Otherwise, the outcomes are bad, right? And that's, very, very normal behavior in the veterinarian world, but somehow in the human world, oh, no, you don't supplement. No, that's just expensive urine, you guys. That's just, you guys, it's a con. It's a con. And, we've got to be more skeptical when it comes to these pharmaceutical solutions. Like I said, there's a place for pharma, but there's so many things you can try before you try, taking pills for the rest of your life. Just imagine that, you got twitchy legs. Okay, I got twitchy legs. I got to go on this pharmaceutical because I got twitchy legs. Oh, great. That really made my legs less twitchy. But you know what? The body doesn't know that. The body goes, oh, okay. Silence that signal. Guess what? Here's another one. Because the body never stops trying to communicate with you. Never. It'll reroute things. It'll say, okay, you shut that off, but here's another one. Like, it will keep trying to signal to you because it is in your DNA to keep you alive and thriving. That's what it knows how to do. And so it's designed to do that. It's going to continue to set off that check engine light. It's just going to do it in a different way. That's actually a pretty good analogy when you think about it, right? Like a lot of people, check engine light comes on, they can't figure out what's wrong with it. They just, put a piece of tape over the check engine light, or they just keep driving with it on, or they try this or they try that, and then they just give up. They just drive around with the check engine light on. Well, eventually, what's going to happen? The car craps out. Right? Because enough is enough. It can't keep going. And when our check engine light comes on, that's what we just want to shut the light off. Well, when you're taking pills, all you're doing is putting a piece of tape over the check engine light, essentially. You're not getting to root cause. You need minerals. You have receptors for minerals. They help your body function. Magnesium alone is responsible for over 300 functions in the body. Very important. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful holiday. We'll see you in a few days.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. NaturallyInspiredRadio.com.